Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Pamela, have you ever had one of those moments when someone expected the worst from you and
Mhm.
you felt it immediately?
Yes. And, sometimes nothing even had to be said. I could just feel the judgment or the criticism.
Yeah, and strangely enough, that can make it hard to show up as your best self.
It certainly can. Though, the opposite is also true. When someone sees the good in you, something different happens.
Yeah, I know. You almost feel invited to rise to that.
You do, you really do. And that's why one of the most powerful lessons that I've ever learned, and I'm still reminding myself, is this: when you choose to see the best in someone, you help bring out the best in them.
That's such a simple idea, but it's actually very powerful because the way we see people influences how we interact with them.
It does. When we expect the worst from someone, we tend to focus on their mistakes, their flaws, or the things they do that
Mm.
irritate us, or frustrate us. And without even realizing it, we start responding to them from that place.
Yeah, and people can feel that.
They do. They
Even if
do.
nothing is said out loud or there's energy behind it, right? The way we look at someone, the way we speak to them, how we react to them.
Mhm.
There's energy behind that.
There is. And yes, it's even how we think about them when they're not around, or how we talk about them with others.
I mean, I got to stop talking about you behind your back. No, really, that's such a good point because when we're focusing on someone's flaws or frustrations, even in conversation with someone else, it tends to reinforce that lens in our minds. And then that's the version of them we're more likely to meet the next time we see them.
It is. So, in a way, what we're holding in our minds and even what we're expressing is quietly shaping the relationship. When we intentionally choose to see the good in someone, even if they're having a rough moment, something different happens and we start relating to them from a completely different point.
We do. Instead of reinforcing their struggles, we're quietly holding space for their strengths, their kindness, their potential.
Yeah.
And many times, people naturally begin to rise to that.
They really do. Because when someone feels seen in a positive light, it often reminds them of the best part of themselves.
Yes, it's almost like you're reflecting something back to them that they had forgotten about.
And that's a beautiful way to say that. Sometimes people just need someone else to believe in the best within them, even when they are not fully seeing it in themselves.
Yeah, and this doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is
Mm,
perfect. It simply means choosing where to put your focus. Are you feeding the problem or are you nourishing the possibility?
mhm. And this applies to all kinds of relationships: family, friends, co-workers, even strangers. However, there's one place where this practice may be the most important of all.
Now, let me guess, within ourselves.
Precisely, because many of us have spent years focusing on our own mistakes or what we think we should be doing better. Most often we are our own toughest critics.
True enough. Imagine what might change if we began looking for the best within ourselves
Hmm.
with the same kindness we offer others.
Mhm.
That shift alone can change a whole lot.
It really can. So, we invite you to experiment with something simple. When you interact with someone, quietly ask yourself, what's something good I can see in this person right now? Because when you choose to see the best in others, you often help bring that very part of them forward.
And maybe also notice what happens when you turn that same question toward yourself,
Mhm.
because that same principle applies inward as well.
It does.
The way we see ourselves, excuse me, can shape how we show up in the world. And many of us are much quicker to notice what's going wrong than what we're doing well.
Mm-hmm. So perhaps you could ask yourself, what's something good I can acknowledge about myself today? Making that a practice of asking yourself this at least once a day, and then just notice what shifts. It can be quite powerful.
Absolutely. It's amazing how that small shift can change the entire interaction, both with yourself and with others. What a beautiful way to make the world feel a little bit more supportive.
So thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. What's something good you've noticed, either in someone else or in yourself?
Yeah, think about someone in your life who brings out the best in people. It could even be yourself for that matter. What is it about them that makes that possible?
And please share that in the comments, because noticing those qualities helps all of us create more of that in the world.
May you see only the best today.
Yes. And
Bye
bye
for
for
now.
now.